Okay. Let's start the meeting. This is our April 8th policy committee meeting. Public have the ability to attend here in person like Mr. Gahed or be online. Let's open the meeting at 2:01. Let's start with introductions, just so everybody online or people viewing know who's here. Let's start with people in the room. Mr. Gahed.
Hi, Mr. Gahed is here and present. Happy to be on the first policy committee meeting. I read a lot of policies in the last 48 hours.
It's a lot.
Okay.
Um,
Neil English, I'm the superintendent.
Ray Zatowski, admin assistant.
Jamie DeRochers, Director of Special Ed.
All right, well, I waited for you this time, Jamie. Eric Hewitt, Principal, Junior Senior High.
Thanks.
David Zulkowski, Principal at 10th Street Elementary School.
Peter Monroe, Principal, Werner Elementary School.
Erin Schutz, Poly Committee member.
Antonio Paris, Policy Committee Chair.
David Turk, current Junior High Principal and Director of Academics and Facilities.
Thank you, everybody. Okay. Let's open to the first hearing of citizens for all agenda related topics. I am not seeing any citizens here, so I think we can move into discussion. Starting with new business. Okay, these are the 800 policies. This is kind of exciting because we're almost done with all of the policies. This is 8 out of 9 series. So we have a couple sets of policies. We have one typically reserved for the board. The first set of policies, and I think I'm just going to read them and see if anybody wants to pull any out, because these are just updates. There's no proposed revisions from the PNN network, and those are policies 802, 804, 808, 808.1, 808.2, 811, 812, 813, 814, 815.1, 817, 818, 819, 822, 824, 827, and 828. We didn't get any revisions from the board here in advance, but would anybody like to pull any of those items out? The only changes that I have upon first review is just changing where it has business manager to director of finance and operations. But other than that, at least on first review, on our side, we don't have any updates to those particular policies. Board members, any updates to any of those policies or any policy you want to discuss in that first group?
You're the only one that I don't have any revisions, by the way. My question is the organizational chart, and that's however you guys want to do it, more or less. So you are keeping Dr. Turk's new position under the Director of Finance and Operations, or are you moving that under you because it's a director position? I saw it under the Director of Finance and Operations, but I'm like, I didn't know if it should be under you as a director position.
Okay, yeah, we can talk about that. That's the second group under the PNNs. So let's go over that. I mean, typically the Director of Building and Grounds kind of works with our Director of Finance and Operations. Is kind of why that's there. They kind of have to work together. So we just felt like it was there. Obviously, there's some academic parts that would be under me, but I guess everybody's really under me to some degree. And I think, his supervision or, Dr. Chuck's new position probably to be done jointly. Because there's gonna be things that she's going to be working on with him, certainly budgetary items and supplies and, schedules and things like that. And then the extra academic things would obviously be me. So just felt like that was the best place for it. I don't know.
No, that's totally fine. I just wanted to
That work?
ask, and sorry, I jumped ahead. You're correct.
No, it's no big deal. If there's no changes on the beginning, we can just kind of move to the second group. The second group are much more, those are the more urgent items anyhow, and there's a whole bunch of them.
I have an extremely random question about one of the items in the first group. I don't remember which one, but it was pertaining to, hold on, here we go, lunch accounts unpaid. What happens with lunch accounts that have money left in them and somebody has graduated or has left the district?
I believe
money
they
get
go
returned?
back. Yeah, we try to return them.
Okay,
There's nobody to return them. They eventually go into the general fund, but that's a Sheila question.
got
I'd
it.
ask her.
Okay, I saw the policy around what happens when,
Yeah,
we provide it, I think up to a $25 credit, et cetera, and
Yes.
then, or a sort of 3-day and then a warning, and then what happens? I just didn't know the inverse. Okay, I can ask Sheila, easy stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
the questions on that first group?
It's an important policy question that I was asked.
No,
I don't have any.
no, you're good. Okay, second group, organizational. First one is the organizational chart, and certainly that's just updating it to be more in line with, the current positions. Are there any other questions on that organizational chart? That anyone had? Okay. So I don't know how you all want to go through these next items. I mean, mostly these are sort of legislation changes that we had to update, and typically we look at sort of what we had before. And there's similar check boxes. Do we want to go over each individual policy, or do we want to pull out policies in that second group that you all think are important to discuss? I'm not sure how you want, this meeting is kind of unique in that we have so many policies to discuss, so some direction would be great.
I think the ones from the beginning ones we should probably go over individually. So like 100 to the 332.
Great.
The
Okay,
619 one probably not.
okay, that's great. Okay, first one, then we're at 105.2. This is exemption from instruction. These are updates based on, changes to the law on the PNN network. Do we have, Randy, do you have that one form, that one like sort of overview form?
Yeah, it was on top of. Are you talking about the? Are you talking
Oh,
about
just like the PNN ones where they're explaining, that explanation one, please.
Yeah, I sent that all of them as well.
Yeah,
Which one are you talking about? March 2026 or November?
yeah, the one with,
We
these.
didn't have a February meeting, so there was some from November, December, and March, all on the PNS.
Okay, well, let's just go over them. It's fine.
There's one.
Any questions with exemption from instruction? We had to add, some items with, dissection and incubation. And requiring the district to notify student and parents, of their right to decline. But other than that, we already had a policy in this first section. Any questions on this first one?
I have none.
Go ahead.
I don't have any.
Oh, okay, sorry, I thought you said you had one, okay. Um. Okay. And it also includes, religious and or moral beliefs as well. So it just makes it a little more broad for students to be able to opt out. Okay, second is extracurricular activities. And there's some definition changes here. And some changes in definition related to curriculum. Okay. But this is very similar to the one we had before, so very, very minor changes here.
The changes are what's just denoted
The
in bold.
changes are in bold.
Yeah.
Okay, so redefining athletic activity, right, extracurriculars, and making these a little bit more broad, and explaining curriculum-related student groups.
And just to explain, these changes that are in bold were what were suggested to us by the PSBA.
Yep,
If you see things in red,
yeah,
then those are things that we chose, based on their suggestions, or we possibly changed.
got it.
Yeah,
Otherwise, we probably didn't give you an explanation.
That's okay. I assumed as much.
It's not rocket science.
Yeah.
questions on extracurriculars? Those are pretty minor substantive changes there. Non-curriculum related activities, we had a discussion about this, as you recall, briefly last time.
Yeah, this one was tabled recently.
This one was tabled and we're kind of bringing this back up, but there's new definitions here. In terms of sponsorship, non-curriculum. And access from the student groups to district-related bulletin boards. Not huge changes here, though, just sort of definition changes. A non-curriculum related, non-school sponsored, student-initiated groups. Any questions on this policy? Okay.
No.
Interscholastic athletics is policy 123. Okay. These are changes really mostly to sort of definitions with injuries and access to doctors, adopting the bylaws of the PIAA. But the big change in this one is the name, image, and likeness section at the end here. Which is additions that weren't in the previous policy. Sort of setting out rules set by the PIA to maintain amateur status. And maybe we would have, I'm thinking of maybe, like Lola, our like national athlete on this policy. If you're a top 50 athlete in the country, then you need to have access to NIL types of opportunities as a high school student. So, I mean, this policy really is kind of wrapped around that. Any questions there? Okay, 140 charter schools. This is free transportation. Need not be identical to transportation provided to traditional students. So it's providing a little bit of flexibility in terms of how schools do transport, which we are required to transport for charter schools. There's also some changes that charter schools now have to submit monthly enrollment figures, which is great. And this is due to some recent legislation, kind of like holding charter schools more accountable for reporting and checking up on residency and things of this regard.
We have a lot of students that transfer to charter schools.
Very few, very few.
Yeah.
We are required to transport for students within like 10-mile radius of the school.
Similar to private schools,
Yeah,
right?
we're fortunate in that we don't have a lot of
Yeah.
charter schools that are close.
Yeah.
But I think the big implication of charter schools on the district really is cyber charter schools.
Yeah.
And so we're required to pay for, those students to go to school. There's been a lot of like reform and litigation and legislation on the deck to try to like keep that in check, up to, having limits or, thresholds of 9,000
Yeah.
but we pay about upwards of $20,000 for a kid to go to cyber charter school if they're special ed, and about 20,000 if they don't. So it's been pretty loose too. Like, they haven't really been held accountable for telling us if they live there or not, or giving us the list. We have to do all the legwork.
Yeah.
So there's been some
Some
reform
thing,
in that
yeah.
regard that's been good,
Yeah.
and that they have to submit those numbers and, check up on, their addresses and submit those things to us, which is really great.
Right.
We're moving in the right, there's still a long way to go, in my opinion, in terms of charter school reform. And I know probably Antonio and Bridget Siri specifically can tell you all sorts of stuff about that, because I know that's what they talk about in their meetings as well. But
Yeah.
anyway, okay.
Thanks.
Okay, attendance. This is just making this, formalizing definitions for compulsory school age, habitually truant. Those are updates there. Everything else is pretty much the same. And it just provides some structure to us, in terms of ensuring students are, what to do if they're truant or absent, or school attendance improvement plans, or what to do about non-school sponsored educational tours and trips, and parental notice of absences, which currently we have 3 days. We have to notify parents in a maximum of 10 days for lawful absences for. Now, we didn't, if you recall, we did make some changes in terms of, not changes, but we did highlight absences, especially with that new policy that Mr. Parrish wrote in terms of, circumstances with school law enforcement and things like that, to provide more flexibility in those areas. But typically, those policies are sort of laid out by the state. And then there's some language about transferring, because I think we don't have this issue at Riverview, but you need to make notice that a habitually truant student may not transfer during the school year to a cyber charter unless the judge determines that the transfer is in the best interest of the student. So I think sometimes when a kid is habitually truant, instead of like, dealing with that, they move to another
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of transient students but like I said, we don't really have issues as far as that goes. I think the new power school system, Mr. Hewitt, is gonna be even better in terms of notifying parents for absences. We've always, we're always trying to like put things into place to ensure the kids are here and to notify parents and to sort of get to those issues with enough time to be proactive with parents. We don't want to be in a position where, they're 12 days absent. We're sitting in an attendance improvement plan with the parent and just like,
Too late.
yeah, we want to be as proactive as possible and notifying, but those are all things that we've done. There's no real changes to that.
Agree.
Any questions? Is that right, Eric? You agree? I think Power School is going to be much even better and keeping
Overall.
things tight with parents. So we're looking forward to that. Okay, weapons. We just did this one, and now it's like this one is, a lot of these, we've done like extracurriculars, interschool, I mean, we just updated these and there already are additional upgrades on top of it. This is one of them. We just went over weapons. But there's new definitions in terms of possession, and then parental notifications is the big one, right? By law, you have to let people know when there's a weapons violation. You have to let people in that building know, and there's requirements in notification. So a lot of this is that new legislation coming through in this particular policy, which is notification. So there's much more strict notification rules. It's not typically something we didn't do anyhow, but now it's a law and it needs to be reflected in the policy. We've always notified, folks of, I mean, we don't have a lot of weapons in the school. I mean, it's rare, knock on wood, that we're dealing with that, but we don't deal with that typically much at all, fortunately. But that's the big change in the weapons policy, is notification.
For just on the in regards to the attendance policy,
Yep.
Or the organizational chart or the website somewhere, do we have it noted that Mr. Rocher is the truancy support specialist?
I'll have to check. That's a good question.
That would be Miss Steiner. Remember, Miss Steiner does that.
Steiner.
Yeah, you mean like that new position, the new
Supplemental.
Thank you.
No, I think he's talking about the fact that Jamie handles homeless and truant students as a district.
She oversees that, yeah. I'll double check that. It's a good question.
Yeah, but how's
Just-
that? That's
Are
title.
you?
I was just saying more so that parents know
Yeah,
who that
yeah,
person
sure.
is. Not so much like in any
Yeah.
formal way.
I think we have Title IX. I don't know. We might want to add something, Jamie, to the website for that as well. You know how we have those those disclaimers or whatever.
I think
Yeah.
that part is the Title IX is. I'm pretty sure.
Title IX, we
Yeah.
definitely have. What I'm saying
Doesn't
is
it say McKinney Vento too under her?
yes.
McKinney Vento and residency, but I don't
Yeah.
have anything really with truancy.
We might need to just broaden that a little bit on the website, is what he's saying. I agree with that. Just so people have a point of contact. Okay. That's good. Good suggestion. Thank you. Okay. Dressing, grooming. This is, this next policy is updating in terms of religious creed and protective hairstyles. So that's new legislation. It's just changes in definition. Pretty straightforward on dressing, grooming. Just want to make sure we're being sensitive and adhering to the new law. It's including locks, braids, twist coils, bantu knots, afros and extensions, and religious creed, including head covering and hairstyles historically associated with religion. That's the big change there. Any questions there? I think that's a good change. Sure. Okay, threat assessment. Policy 236.1. We just did this one. There's additions here for consultation between team and law enforcement. The rest is fairly similar. Our current Safe to Say team is this threat assessment team. And we had this in place for a long period of time already. So there's some additions in terms of what incident means. But the main part of this is what's in bold here, which is the established procedures must include protocols for timely consultation between the team and law enforcement, juvenile justice agencies, county agencies, healthcare providers, or behavioral service providers as appropriate to refer students whose behavior indicates a potential threat for additional interventions or supports, including this exchange of relevant information. I think that's a catch-all to say that, you know, when a kid's struggling, there is a threat, to make sure that we're doing what we can to attach them to services and support and interventions as needed. And then they go on to sort of the definition section is slightly different. Everything else is the exact same as it was before. That's a big one. We obviously have a pretty detailed protocol when it comes to threats and a checklist that we have to follow. And then we have MOUs with the police department if the police are involved. And Safe to Say is a big part of that as well. Okay. Dress and grooming 325 is the same changes except for staff. The same changes in definition except for staff. Same protective hairstyles, except that's for the staff. 325. Okay, and then we have working periods 332. Okay, it's including language. It's pretty simple. It's just changing the second paragraph to include state law. That's the only change there. To make sure we're following state law as well, not just our contracts. Okay. Let's do district audit. This doesn't change anything in terms of our protocol here, but it for audit, it just provides delegation of responsibility that we have to submit the AFR to the PDE by October 31st. We do that already. So there's a slight change in audit. I don't know why that wasn't there before, but we have to submit it by then anyhow. So it's just, I guess it just codifies it in the policy language that we have to do it. But like I said, we have to do it anyhow. Okay, that brings us to the 800. Okay. Are there any set, Mr. Parrish, you wanted to go kind of individually up through 800. Now we're in this 800 block. Are there any of those PNN 800s that anyone would like to pull out? A big one is school calendar. I just want to highlight 803 here. And remember, as you recall, they changed from 900 hours of instruction and 990 hours at the secondary level. They changed it in terms of days of and to be or, but we still require by state, by our contract, 180 student days anyhow. So we are going to stay consistent with the 180 days and the 900 hours of instruction. So that's sort of not a noteworthy change, but that was a change because they made it a little more flexible for schools in terms of the hours and the days that kids attend. The rest are just sort of basic sort of definition types of changes. Anything major here, as I recall. There's a moment of silence, which is 8:07. The board directs the district to annually provide during instructional hours, a moment of silence for students and staff to observe September 11. So that's an addition. That's 8:07. Something to make note of. I thought that was an interesting change.
If we could go over 801 really quickly,
Sure.
did I don't know if Falco's office saw this one.
Hold on, let me go back here.
Sorry, it's
No,
the
you're good, you're
public
good.
records one.
Public records, got it. All right, what are you, which
yeah,
section?
sorry.
Go ahead.
Page 2 at the top, where it says
The board
it's
authorizes.
yeah, I'm a little worried about that first sentence. I know that that's a PSBA, like, or I'm assuming that it's a PSBA
Yeah,
recommended change. Um, I think it should be classified as the board authorizes the district to deny anonymous requests for records only if they lack enough information to process the request. Because the way that it reads is just as it reads. The board authorizes the district to deny anonymous requests for records. And then the next sentence kind of clarifies, but that first sentence almost gives carte blanche, and I'm worried that that's a incorrect way to read the right to know request law.
yeah, I mean, we get requests, the key ingredient is we get requests a lot for right to know requests. And typically, up to this point where if, you know, if there's not, there's companies, there's, for instance, there's like there could be a national company that wants to know about the requests for facilities, because they want to get an idea of what people are using and how much of people are paying to get a competitive edge. We typically, up to this point, if it's anonymous, we don't have to do that. I would, as
Wait.
long as it doesn't put us in a position where we have to do it more, because a request for record is a crazy, it's really,
Cumbersome.
it's cumbersome.
I don't
Yeah,
disagree, but you
super
can't
cumbersome.
deny, the law does not provide that a requester provides their identity.
Do you want me to?
So
put a pin? Okay,
that first sentence just definitely needs to be revised.
got it. Okay, let me put this aside.
And if, I mean, like I said, if we can put in I have proposed language and then we can send that to Falco, but it definitely can't just be
Okay,
a blanket statement that we can deny anonymous requests, because we can't. It actually, the right to know law actually does permit anonymous requests.
okay, can you provide to me a revised statement, and then I can funnel that through Falco's office and have it. I can either have it with the proposed changes, or we can. That would be great, if you don't mind doing that.
Yeah.
That would be great. Thank you. Okay.
Welcome.
Antonio, if you're going to provide the revised statement, will I still be able to get it on this study session as? Like, will you be able to get that revised statement to us by tomorrow? Because it could still sit on study session, but it won't get discussed until voting anyway.
I can send it over right now. The only thing is I don't know what Falco's office is.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
their
time.
language
If you
will
can
be
get
like-
it to me today, I'm still gonna be able to have time I'm still gonna be able to manipulate it within the time.
No,
Yeah.
I know that, but I'm saying like it'll go back to a first review if Falco's office doesn't approve it.
Okay,
You know what I mean? So it's
Well,
really,
regardless, it's still gonna be first reading. I'm just wondering if I can try and get it on.
Yeah.
oh, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
look, I'll do it right now and then I'll send
yeah,
it
that'd be
over.
great.
Thank you.
That's
Absolutely.
perfect. Okay, other ones that you guys, hold on. All right, so let's see. Okay, acceptable use of internet, 815. I think this is a good policy. It updates, what a computer, it broadens the definition of what a computer is. For this particular policy.
That's the one that Kim Getz stated that she was fine with, but
Yeah.
that she wanted to incorporate training into the district next year.
Great. Yeah, it just kind of tightens down links, captions for video and just broadens this a little bit. Obviously, tech is moving at a, a lightning quick pace, so I'm imagining that's gonna be up continually. Okay. I think another one is the social media policy 816. That's a good policy, and that the designated public forum is created when a district-owned social media account is intentionally open for use by the public as a place for expressive activity where members of the public may communicate. And it broadens some definitions here as well. The board establishing district-owned social media as a designated public forum. Like currently, people can respond on our social media sites. We like that. And then just making sure there's some more broad and clear language around sexual harassment or disclosure of confidential personal information or speech. Traditionally, that's not protected in the First Amendment, giving us some ability to, for some reason, in case it goes badly. Okay. And then broadening some of the definitions in terms of school director's activity on a personal social media account. Could be deemed as a public record and subject to a right to know request if the activity documents a transaction or activity of the district and is created or received as a part of the district, but also saying personal social media accounts of employees are encouraged to use privacy settings, and this is a really good policy, I think. So we're just establishing some structure around social media since it's such a big part of our lives now.
Can we
Questions
go
there?
over I don't have any questions for the social media or any of the other ones you mentioned, but I do have one over the 805 as well. It's the emergency
What
preparedness
number?
and response.
805.1,
Nope, just
805.2,
805.
Just 805.
805. Got it. Let me go back to that one. Okay,
On page 4,
yeah,
if it could be the superintendent or designee shall conduct additional school security drills in the school district after the first 90 days of the school year. I think it's something that we can revisit after maybe even a year, but especially now that we have a security coordinator, or a safety and security coordinator, I think it makes sense that even if that's the person you designate, that they do facilitate more security drills, because I also think that we do them. I think that we do them already, at least one in the spring.
Okay, let me read that. Eric, principals.
Yeah, which page,
super-
which page are we on?
On
Number
4,
four.
superintendent or designee may or shall conduct additional school security drills in district schools after the first 90 days of the school year. Up to 2 additional school security drills per year may be conducted in place of the required fire drills for the month in which they are conducted. That would be like a lockdown. which I
Yeah,
think
that's what we do now.
We already do
covered-
that, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's changing from may to shall is not a big deal then. Because we're already doing it.
Right.
That's what because I thought we were. I was
Yeah.
like, I swear I just saw
Yeah.
an email go out. So I'm like,
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, let me put that one aside as well.
Dr. Z, and I'm thinking of you because it may have been in your weekly
Yeah,
tidbits
probably.
that I just saw.
Okay. Good. Okay, any other policies in the 800s? Or in the, I think we should probably go over, I'd like to go over 916 separately. Because there's some things that we're adding and I just want to make sure we go over with everybody in the group. Okay, volunteers. So we have some red lines here.
This was actually tabled previously, so.
Yeah, this was tabled previously, and we wanna, I think maybe we should go back to this one. Because we are updating all of our volunteer protocols and things like that, so this one's kind of important. So we have some lines in here. First, in purpose, as a district, we encourage all volunteers to get clearances regardless of classification for the safety and protection of the students. And then remember, we took away school board director. You remember this one, Antonio? And
I do.
We added it in a different spot. We added it in the visitor spot, remember?
Right.
So we blocked out the school board director specifically, and we put school board director in the visitor spot. A parent,
Are we
guardian,
able
adult
to
resident,
share?
educator, official, school board director, or other individual who is not a school employee.
Are we able to screen share this one? I don't know that,
Sure.
that I
Yeah,
see this
give
one
me a
on the
second.
email.
Give me a
Sorry.
second. Give me a second. Okay, Rainey, I gotta go.
Yeah, I didn't have that one either.
You know what, that could be my fault. It was on the February and then it was, I might have missed it because it was tabled.
Can you,
You need me to send it to you again?
yeah, just email it to me, I'll pull it up. Let's pull this one up, guys.
The only
Yeah.
reason that I ask is because I do want to. Roger had a really good point, and I agreed with his points last time that we met when we were talking about that, school directors should realistically get them. We can't require them to, but I do think that it would be good for the board to possibly say something along the lines of like, the board encourages all board members to have their school related clearances as it pertains to a volunteer on file with the district throughout their term. Something along those lines.
Okay,
So that it
Mhm.
it does incentivize our school board members to have them, even though
okay,
they're not required
So-
to. You know what I mean?
okay, got it.
And it takes the liability off the administration as well, because that was the biggest piece of my pushback on it, was that
Right,
the
right.
only people that are going to get in trouble for us not having them are you guys, but we as,
Mhm.
citizens don't have to have them as a legal requirement, and our board policies are directed at the district.
Right, right. Yeah, it says specifically that if you're just serving as a board member, it's not required. You're not having interaction with kids. So in the place where we struck that out, are you suggesting we just add like sort of a line, like you just said, like the board is encouraged to,
All board members, all current board members are encouraged
Yeah.
to acquire, provide, and maintain and then what it's the, I don't know if we want to be
required
specific on that.
background, work, required background checks and clearances to work with students. Right?
I would do just the required clearances to work with students. It is a background check, right? I don't know what the
Required
requirements
background.
are
Well, it's
for
it's a
volunteers.
abbreviated background check. In the
Yeah,
language, it would be required background check and clearances to work with students. All current board members are encouraged to acquire, provide, and maintain required background checks and clearances to work with students. Okay,
provide
We're not
to the
really working with
district.
Students.
in case you would work with students, I guess.
Yeah,
Or
provide.
you're volunteering or you're
Yes.
doing,
Yeah.
I would
mean,
say
the language on the
provide and
purpose
maintain.
component is good. Right, where it talks about, as a district, we encourage all volunteers, you can make that say. We encourage all board members to get clearances regardless of classifications for the safety and protection of all students.
you want to just add
I don't know
volunteers
if that-
and board
I
members?
don't know if that sums it up. It
But
also
the
doesn't have-
volunteers are required to have them though,
Right,
if they're working with students separately. Board
Well,
members,
the purpose language says we encourage.
I just can't, I'm sorry, I can't see.
hold
it
on.
right now.
Yeah, it's
hold on.
okay.
Randy, can,
The purpose
I
language
just said it.
says,
Oh, sorry,
Yeah. I can't put it up there.
oh, you sent it to Dr. English.
I sent it to everybody again,
yeah, give me 1 second, I'm just waiting.
but all of a sudden, everything started moving slowly.
yeah, it's here.
I'll pull it up here in a second. There's a line at the beginning. In purpose, it says, as a district, we encourage all volunteers to obtain, let's say obtain clearances regardless of classification for safety and protection of all students and volunteers. Encourage all, we say volunteers twice, all. What do we want to say there in that first sentence?
And-
All.
As a district, we encourage all volunteers to get clearances regardless, or obtain clearances regardless of classification for the safety and protection of all students and related personnel.
Okay.
And then I don't want to go too quickly, but I want to make it clear that we as a board do encourage current board members. I want it to be a
Okay.
separate sentence, or I think it should be at least,
Okay,
because I think that it gives the community as well
okay,
a sense of pride that our board is also, doing that.
Should it be in this section though?
in the purpose,
Well, this section is strictly volunteers,
yeah.
right? All the references are to
I think
volunteers.
that,
What
what the
Kareem,
conversation
we're
you weren't a
volunteers.
part of was like, we were trying to decide where to put board members in this. We
Yeah.
had like sort of this separate section,
Yeah.
but it really wasn't needed in that section. We moved it to this visitor section
Mhm.
anyhow.
Yeah,
But he's saying maybe like, maybe an additional sentence somewhere
yeah.
that just draws out what Roger
I mean,
was
the
saying, like,
concept of it all makes sense
Yeah.
to me.
I just don't know
And I think
where
they
the
should
best
get
way
their
to,
clearances.
yeah, I don't know where to put that. Where is the
Yeah.
best place to put that, I guess, is the question.
In my opinion, because I'm the one who deals with the volunteers, I think this is the best area to put it because
Agreed.
if we go back in time, we had some board members that would participate in things and they weren't there as a board member.
Mhm.
But people assumed because they were a board member that they had their clearances, like, and they might have just been somebody visiting a history day, kind of, like,
Yeah,
I hate to say, but Arlene Leffler is my example, you know, like, she would just come to all these different events.
Yep.
And somebody asked me, and I was like, wow, she does a lot, she has her clearances, and I was like, well, yep, she's on the school board, blah, 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 like, I had
yeah,
to, I
Yeah.
didn't know whether she did or not,
yeah. That makes
you know,
sense.
so.
And board
I think
members,
transparency wise, for volunteer sake, I think it's always better to cover you guys,
Yeah,
just
Yeah,
like we cover our teachers.
and to your point, board members are volunteers.
yeah.
We're not
Yeah.
paid by the district, so we are volunteers. So we fall under this just the
So, I mean,
same.
do you even need,
well, then do you do that in the?
yeah, you even need a line at all? I mean, you're saying in terms of visitor, a parent, guardian, adult resident, educator, official, school board director, or any other individual who is not a school employer and who visits a school or sort of, I mean, there is language based on our last conversation that sort of encapsulates that. But if you want a separate line, I would put it maybe instead of that cross out for school board director, you can just make a line like Antonio was saying. All current board members are encouraged to whatever, if you want to pull out a school board director specifically, which is what we
You could just-
originally did.
you
They're
could
just not required to.
you could just take-
Aaron. Go ahead. Sorry, Aaron.
You could just take the first sentence of that strikeout out that starts with Pennsylvania state law and stop at like where it says volunteers and just be like school board directors are encouraged to, and then the dash is encouraged to obtain and maintain required background checks and clearances. Period. That's doesn't, you
School
know,
directors,
the
okay,
rest of it's
that
just extra
requires
language. It's not a state
school
law, doesn't
directors
need to be in there.
Right.
are encouraged. Yeah, that does
Mhm.
it, right? Are encouraged to
Yeah,
obtain and
you don't need
maintain.
the extra language
required-
around it. It's pretty much implied as to why.
Yeah, okay,
Maybe say clearances with the district.
with the district, yeah, instead of to work with students,
Yeah.
with the district. Okay, yeah, okay, let me read it again. School board director in bold. Board members are encouraged to.
Current board members.
Current board members. Okay, hold on. Current. Board. Members are encouraged. To obtain and maintain required background checks and clearances with the district.
Yep.
Does that do it?
Oh,
I think that's clear.
I think Aaron said along with other school employees and volunteers to keep that. And that makes sense because then required background checks and clearances would refer to that. Without it, what
I
is
was-
required?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, then we need to, instead of having school board director there, we need to have something more broad than school board director, because you're talking about people as a whole, right?
No.
Or
No.
it's, you're.
It would be-
broadening it.
It would be school board director dash, along with school employees and volunteers, current school
Okay.
board members are encouraged to obtain and maintain required background checks and clearances with the district,
Say that one more time, please, along with
along with other school employees and volunteers,
school employees. And volunteers,
comma,
current board
Current board
members are
members.
encouraged to obtain and maintain required background checks and clearances with the district.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. In terms of the volunteers, let's go down to the later part. In terms of volunteers, is this language, let me see if I can pull this up now. Let's see if it came through. Not getting that email. It's not coming through.
Doesn't like me. That's under my son.
Going on with our email. So then it has independent volunteers, assistive and volunteer coaches and sponsors, and kind of defining what those are. Which aligns with our new volunteer portal. And that's really the bulk of that particular policy. Why don't I send, I'm gonna send the policy committee this one specifically again, okay? With these changes. And I'm just gonna we'll email those directly. You know what, we'll make changes to, we have policy 805, we have policy 916.
Antonio,
Yeah,
did you already send your thing? Cause I didn't get it.
No, my computer's was taking forever to download it.
Yeah.
Our email's not, for some reason.
The sun's out. It doesn't know what to do.
Okay, we have 801, 805, because we're gonna run, 801 is the one with that, Antonio, you're gonna provide some updates for. So once we do that, we're gonna send that out separately. We're going to send out the may shall on 805, and then the new language we just went over on 916, and we'll send those out to you guys again with the updated changes, okay?
Perfect. And then if we as a committee can just agree to reply to that email to Rainey by noon on Friday so that she can include this on
Cool,
our agenda for the study session next week.
great. Any other policies that anyone wanted to discuss and pull out for the greater good? All we have left after this is gonna be 900, and we will be updated for every single policy in the district by the next policy meeting. That's
Until-
pretty cool.
Just as an update to that, since I've been going back historically to collect all of the correct dates of revisions on every policy that we've ever done, because we did start policies back in 1982. And then PSBA did the big chunk in 2012, and then Peggy did it again in 2015. So when we're done with this, you will have a full grid that shows adoption, reviews, revisions, and current. But Antonio, I'm curious, what are you hearing for the PSBA new policy portal?
I mean, it's supposed to just be more inclusive, and then that like everyone will be able to see it, like all board members and stuff, so that they can also see what's being pushed out, so that you don't have to worry about like that summary sheet, and so that the policy committee can also provide that to the board members either in their reports and stuff, and just more user friendly, because currently it's only through the PNN Plus network on board docs, and so it makes it a little more cumbersome on yourself or other like board secretaries.
Yeah, one of the things that I really enjoyed with my training yesterday for that PSBA portal was the fact that you'll have a major dashboard on it, and the public can see which policies have most recently been adopted or updated. And then the other piece of it is they can see what policies in our district are being trended by the public, like who's looking up what currently.
Right.
So it might spark something that we weren't thinking about, or,
Yeah.
you know, something in the community, so.
Okay, let's see. Go back here. We did a lot here. Second hearing is, we don't have any citizens, but our next meeting is September 9th. Well, like I said, we'll send out our action steps are those 3 policies. After discussion today, we'll send them out to you, and if you guys could take a look at them like Antonio said, that'd be great. And then, our next policy meeting is until September 9th, where we will go over the 900 series and then we are good to go. And then I guess we just loop back to the 100s and go through just kind of maintenance things. So
Take a look and reply that we approve the changes.
yeah, got it. Okay. That's our action stuff. So we'll pull that together. We'll send it hopefully today or tomorrow. Okay? Any
Perfect.
other things for the greater good? May I have a motion to adjourn?
Paris so moved.
I'm happy to second it.
Thank you, Mr. Gahead. Hey, thank you all for carving out space, especially you board members. I know you're busy. Thanks for carving out space during the school day. It's really awesome. And like I said, I'm really excited that we've gone through all these policies. We just have a few more. And we will have updated them all in the last year and a half. So I think that's a really good thing for the district. I really do. So thank you for your help and guiding us through the process. So thank you. Right.
Thank you.
See you at the board meeting on Monday. Have a great week. Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
I just sent that over to you as well, Rainey.